Hey, love. Welcome to the ChiLove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. The ChiLove Radio Show is hosted by none other than Melanie Hogan, the founder of ChiLove, and is also sponsored by ChiLove LLC. Now, before we begin, and our topic for today is Mr. Kanye West, our brother here in Chicago. Let's take 3 deep breaths. You're going to inhale, hold for 3 seconds, and exhale. 1. 2. 3. Now, we all know Kanye West to be an artist, a musical artist, an artist. His hometown is right here in Chicago, Illinois. And Kanye West, many have a mixed view on him, but regardless of your view, he is Chicago's brother. And our brother has put his bid in for the presidential run. Unfortunately, he won't appear on the presidential ballot for his home state, which is Illinois, after election officials in Illinois found 1,900 of the 3,128 signatures West submitted. 1,900 of those signatures are invalid, according to Washington Post. So ultimately, they left him short of the 2,500 signatures needed to be included. Now, it is presumed that the issues behind this could be due to fake names or addresses, or voters who were not eligible in Illinois. The signatures were brought to the attention of the Illinois State Board of Elections after 3 people filed objections citing dodgy signatures. Now, I know that, when I'm out and about and they have these people who are working on behalf of the elections, working on behalf of certain political figures, they're just stopping you on the street and asking you to sign and support whoever it is so that they can get on the ballot. They're not asking certain questions like, are you a felon? Are you eligible to vote? So perhaps a lot of people who were ineligible to vote, signed. It's also common for people to sign those forms with fake identification, fake addresses, because they want to live off the grid as much as possible and don't want any, too many government officials being able to directly identify them or contact them. Then you have some people who are just buttholes and they find it funny, so they do what they do. Nevertheless, West reportedly dropped $30,000 to be included on the ballot. Now, Wisconsin is looking into his bid as well, after the Democratic Party members found signatures for Mickey Mouse and Bernie Sanders. Those are examples of the buttholes. You know good and well your mama ain't named you Mickey Mouse. You know good and well you're not the Bernie Sanders that we all know of. So the attorney who gathered the affidavits for the state Democratic Party said that if the affidavits are true, crimes were committed by the West campaign. West is currently on Colorado's ballot. So far, so good. So Kanye West is 43 years old. Like I said, he's a Chicago native. He announced his intention to run for Oval Office on the 4th of July. Now, originally, he said that he would run for 2020 election. He said that we must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building the future. He is qualified as an independent candidate for the President of the United States in Oklahoma and will appear on the general election ballot. He is seeking the office of president under the party BDY, which stands for birthday party, declaring, because when we win, it's everybody's birthday. So let's talk about Kanye's presidential platform and the interview that he had with Forbes. Also, if you are not registered to vote and you are interested in registering to vote, please go to vote.org to register to vote. Again, that's vote.org to register to vote if that is your interest. So let's talk about his platform. I'm going to start off with certain quotes that he used to introduce himself. He said, like anything I've ever done in my life, I'm going to win. That's Chicago right there. Chicago has a certain energy, a certain mentality, even against all odds. And like anything I've ever done in my life, I'm going to win. That's Chicago right there. Now, he declared that he no longer supports Trump and took the red hat off during the interview with Forbes. He wants us to know that to say that the black vote is democratic is a form of racism and white supremacy. We're going to go deeper into these bullets that I'm putting out here right now. He has never voted in his life. He is a COVID survivor. He's suspicious of the coronavirus vaccine, terming the vaccination as the mark of the beast. So if you know anything about the mark of the beast, that's in the Bible, up in Revelation, where if you read it, it's actually describing a lot of stuff that's going on right here, right now. He believes Planned Parenthood has been placed in 5 cities by white supremacists to do the devil's work. He envisions a White House organizational model based on the secret country of Wakanda in Black Panther. Kanye West's campaign slogan is yes. His running mate is Michelle Tidball. She's a preacher from Wyoming. He also denies that his run for presidency is a publicity stunt for his new upcoming album. Now, as far as Trump, he says that he's lost confidence in him. He says it looks like one big mess. He doesn't like that he caught wind that Trump hid in the bunker. Gee. Hey, don't nobody like that part right there. Oh my God, when chaos erupted after the unjust murder of George Floyd by the Minneapolis police officers, I mean, it went up. The world went up. When they say, I want all the smoke, they were going for all the smoke. And what did we hear? What did we hear number 45 do? Gee, he turned out the light in the White House. And they said he went inside a bunker like he didn't want no smoke at all. Um, OMG. That is not a good look for the president of a country. We need to know that when things get hot, you're going to stand with us, you're going to stand for us, you're going to do what is necessary to, you know, get things on a good foot. You're going to do what is necessary for the justice of the people. And my man's went and hid in the bunker like, OMG. I guess he said I ain't got nothing to do with that. Now, it has been no secret that we've seen Kanye West with that red hat, Make America Great Again. We have seen Kanye hugging Trump. We have seen Kanye in the Oval Office. We have seen his wife meeting with him. And, now she's into social justice reform. She helps to get a young lady who I believe was, she killed her pimp. And she helped to get her out of jail. And she's doing pretty good now. So Kanye West and his wife Kim Kardashian, they have had close ties with the White House. So now he's saying that he's lost confidence in them. He is also not a fan of Joe Biden, which is the other presidential hopeful. He says that Joe Biden simply is not special. Now, although he has lost confidence in Trump, he does acknowledge Trump as a special person. In addition to himself, he says that Obama is special. He says that Clinton is special. But Joe Biden, he said he's not special. So let's go into more detail. When Kanye West, presidential hopeful Kanye West, was asked to speak on National Political Party, he said that he will run as a Republican if Trump wasn't there. So because Trump is running for his second term, he is running as an independent. On his previous support for Trump, he once stated that Trump is the closest president we've had in years to allowing God to still be part of the conversation. Now, do we here at the ChiLove radio show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium, but primarily at the ChiLove radio show, do we believe in Mama Daddy God? Yes. Do we know Mama Daddy God? Yes. Do we acknowledge that more of God's energy needs to be implemented on this earthly plane? Indeed. Okay, now let's go to his Magna hat moment. He said that he wore that hat to protest to the segregation of votes in the Black community, in addition to liking Trump's hotels and the saxophones in the lobby. So it seemed like he doesn't support Trump's being in office as far as being the president, but I guess he still rocks with him as a person. On discussions on race with the White House, he said during a conversation with Jared Kushner, who said that we don't have Black leaders, he said that we just have hustlers. So Jared Kushner said that we don't have black leaders, we just have hustlers. And Kanye's reply was yes. He said that is because they killed all the black leaders. Now, if you want to go through the history of black people, they were murdered. Our leaders were murdered over and over and over again. Those who decided to go against the grain, those who decided to expose the truth, those who decided to wake people up to another level of consciousness, yeah, if you look at history, our leaders have been killed over and over and over again. But see, that's in alignment with the Willie Lynch rule. You take the strongest one, you take the biggest one, and you break them in front of everybody. You break them. And see, when people see somebody who was supposed to be the strongest, supposed to be the smartest, supposed to be the greatest get broken, that causes a serious fear. And something in you feels like you should get in alignment with what you're being told, because if they broke the strongest one, they're going to devour you. So is the Willie Lynch law still current to this day? It sure is. Have you placed such a fear in the color, in people of color, that the mothers, and they said it in it, that the mothers was going to be so afraid of what they seen happen to that strong one, that they were going to, from the womb, condition their sons to get in alignment with what Master was saying, get in alignment with what the authority is saying. So it's still very prevalent to this day. Unfortunately, a lot of people of color don't even realize that you have adapted Master's ways and brought it into your own house. But we want to speak about unity. How can we have unity when you have adapted Master's ways and brought it into your own house? Now let's keep going. When Kanye West was asked about Democrats, he said that that's not all black people. And it is kind of assumed that the white people are Republicans and the black people are Democrats. It's like you kind of born into that. You know, and you're told that that's who you vote for. We Democrats, so we're going to vote Democrat. And Kanye West is not in agreement with that. He says that ideology is a form of racism and white supremacy and white control, to say that all black people need to be Democrat and to assume that him running is to split the vote. Because there was a lot of talk about, oh, he's running to split the vote between him and Biden to give Trump a upper leg in the election. So he's refuting that rumor. He's saying he has his own personal ideology about that. What I suggest is that you read up on what Democrats stand for, what they have done, what they are planning, and so forth. You read up on what the Republicans stand for, what they have done, what they are doing, planning on to do. Read up on it. Start to pay more attention versus just going by what you were told. And then make your own decision. Initiate conversations, ask questions, get involved with your aldermen, get involved in your community, get involved with your state, and start to see where you actually fit in this situation, what it is that you are looking forward to, what it is that you want implemented, and make your decision based on that. He says that all of that information about him coming in just to split the vote is being charged up on social media platforms by Democrats. That's something that you will always hear the Republicans say. They say that the whole reason why these messages are out here the way that they are is because the Democrats are poisoning the eyes and the ears of the people through social media. He also said that these same Democrats told him and threatened him, and that is why he registered when he did, because he was scared. He was told that if he voted for Trump, his music career would be over. He said that he was threatened as a celebrity and a black man into one party, the Democratic. So I guess somebody then low-key cornered him or showed up in them little hooded robes that they be wearing, pulled up in one of them unmarked vehicles, took him to a location and told him this is what it is. Now, if he didn't have any type of influence, they wouldn't even bothered him. And I know that a lot of people question his mental health, but because you have mental health issues don't mean that you are a complete nut job. There's just certain imbalances. But if you actually listen and continue to read what he's saying, you can get his point. As he said in one of his songs, he just talked like it's just me and you. He's speaking as if y'all on the same level and you already understanding what he's saying. And a lot of times the first thing that comes out of his mouth makes people either stop listening or go into an uproar. But then if you listen to the second thing and the third thing, it'll explain what he meant by that first statement. Nevertheless, he says that emotionally, Democrats are doing the same thing to his people, threatening them to the point where this white man can tell a black man that if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Now, that reference was to Joe Biden's comment when he did a video, and that is what he said. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. I believe in the impossible. I believe that people can change if they put in the work to change, to heal, and to recondition themselves. They may realize that they were looking from a certain perspective and may have a new perspective, a newfound perspective. So I do believe that people can change, but I will say this. Look at, because Joe Biden been in the game for a very long time. And we all know him mainly from, linking up with, President Obama, another Chicago native. It's just so much greatness here in Chicago. I don't care what nobody says. But at a certain point, Joe Biden had certain views that impacted people of color. So maybe he has, being around Obama and such, and maybe he has a new understanding and, trying to make up for where he stood before, but definitely look into that. Now, Kanye was also asked about his opinion on how the race will be decided. So sometimes, they'll ask you, predict the outcome. And this is what he said. He said, let's see if the appointing is at 2020 or if it's at 2024. Because God appoints the president. If I win in 2020, then it was God's appointment. If I win in 2024, then that was God's appointment. So bottom line is, he is going to be president of the United States, according to presidential hopeful Mr. Kanye West. Okay? He said if he don't get it in 2020, baby, he got it in 2024. That's Chicago if I ain't never seen it. That's Chicago's mentality Baby, when we got something in our mind and we sat on it, that's it. That is it. That is it. Whether it happen now, later, it's gonna happen. Hell, I know it's people who was like, she was talking about ChiLove. She was sure was talk about it and did it. She did it. That's that Chicago right there. That's that ChiLove right there. So when he was asked about the coronavirus cure, he say, we pray for freedom. It's all about God. We need to stop doing things that make God mad. It's always been a heated debate when it came to religion, spirituality, who to pray to, who to believe in. That's always been, oh my God. And it's funny because if you look in the Bible, my baby God said, I go by many names. So it's going to be really, really funny when everybody realized they actually was praying and believing and declaring to the same force. You fighting over the same energy. You're fighting over the same energy. You're arguing because you call it this and they call it that. It's the same energy, baby. Goodness gracious. Vaccines. When he was asked about vaccines, he said, so many of our children are being vaccinated and paralyzed. He's extremely cautious about vaccines, so am I, and calls it the mark of the beast. He said they want to put chips inside of all of us and do all kinds of things to make it where we can't cross the gates of heaven. They are referred to the humans that have the devil inside them. He said the saddest thing is that we all won't make it to heaven. Even sadder than that is that everybody don't want to go to heaven. The notorious B.I.G. said he ain't want to go to heaven. He'd rather go to hell. He don't want to go to heaven with the goody goodies. He want to go to hell so he can rock his black Tims and hoodies. You did? Everybody don't want to go to heaven. And if you have the spiritual gift of knowledge to actually see demons inside, but you can actually see it. You can actually start to see when that lower vibrational energy, that's another reference for the devil, that lower vibrational energy. It actually starts to change the outward appearance of the person as it starts to take over. You might see certain people who like drink, and you would literally see a physical change. Look up in the eye part, the forehead part. You could see a literal physical change. You can hear their voice change. Like, that's a whole deeper story, baby. Now, when he was asked about deciding to run for president, he said that he was in the shower. He said that he was in the shower and it hit him. He said he's also came up with raps, written raps in the shower. It acknowledges that the award shows are rigged. Now, that right there is an example of why people are skeptical about supporting Kanye West. We've all seen him publicly go into sunken places. We've all seen him come out. But when decided to run for presidency, and the weird part is not that it hit him in the shower. People get inspiration in the weirdest of places. You know? But in a way, I kind of understand, it's like word association. And he thinking about, they asked him, how did he come up with it? He said it hit him in the shower. So him thinking about how he was inspired to run for presidency in the shower also made him think about the other stuff that he encountered in the shower, which is how he came up with certain raps and stuff, lyrics and stuff while he was in the shower. So the lyrics is connected to the music, which is connected to the award, where he felt the need to let everybody know that the shows are rigged. That's not nothing new. A lot of artists have been saying for years that the shows are rigged. Yeah, I heard Jay-Z and them don't even, they take their picks of that if they go at all. So quite a few artists have actually said that the award shows are rigged. Nevertheless, I regress. Let's continue to his platform. When he was asked about foreign policy, he said he was honest. He said it isn't developed yet. He said, but from what he does know about it, or where he can just speak off the top of his head, he says that protecting America is first. I agree with that. Take care of home first. That's a lot of people's problems. You out here stunting in front for everybody else, and you ain't took care of home. How that work? And he said that he's going to protect America first with our great military. So ChiLove salute to our military people, our militia who is out here fighting wars that we know nothing about to keep us safe. But he says, let's focus on ourselves first. And that is a lot of people's mistakes in life. Sometimes you're too much of a helper. That's a personal lesson I'm learning for myself. Sometimes I was too much of a helper. And I helped everybody out to the point where I neglected myself or didn't have enough energy to really pour into myself. Now, are we making conscious changes behind that? Am I? Yes, I am. Not saying that I'm not going to continue to be a helper and be my little self, because this is just naturally who I am. And I just choose not to fight it. But will I show and do I show and start to show myself more of that love that I pour out to so many other people? Indeed, you better believe it. Know it. On Kanye West's opinion on abortion, on his stance on abortion, he is pro-life because he's following the word of the Bible. Listen, people. You got to do what you got to do. If you keep that baby, do what you have to do to raise that baby and try to get that baby a better life than yours, and put the baby in a more awakened conscious state than you are in. Teach your child what you know now so that they don't have to learn it at the age that you finally, started to get the picture. Yes, in the Bible it is, it is anti-abortion in the Bible. But at the same time, if you do your history even on the Bible, man said a lot of things. God said he inspired the Bible. God gave man power over the earth. God gave man power to govern thyself. Dominion over the earth. He didn't take Adam and be like, that's an elephant, that's a snake, that's an alligator. He presented them animals in front of him, and he said, what you call it? What you want to call it? And man came up with that. So know that man came up with a whole lot of things that we follow. Whole lot of things that we have centered our life around. So what I'm going to tell you to do is to tap into your inner God and make the decision that is best for you. Now, either way it goes, it may be some hurt and some healing. But ultimately, you're the one who's going to have to live with that decision, and you need to be able to live with the decision that you made. But tap into your inner God, tap into your inner goddess, and make the decision that's best for you. On being a political novice, he acknowledges that he doesn't have all the pieces in the puzzle. He's being honest. a lot of people are, it's like they're molded for the political lifestyle. They're well versed with that rhetoric. And what I mean by that is making bullshit sound like it's not bullshit. Saying what they answering the question without actually answering the question. He says that he's not running in the political race, he's walking. We the people are walking. We're not running anymore. We're not running. We're not excited. We are energized. He said someone can say, hey, I have a brand new car for you. It's across the street. You get so excited, you run across the street and get hit by a car trying to run to your new car. He said that's how they control the Black community, through emotions. They get us excited, but then for 400 years, the change still doesn't truly happen. Now, I don't care how his little, mental stability jump up and down. That was some real stuff right there. And that's true. That's why you see a lot of people, especially people of color, who they don't get excited anymore. They not continuously riled up by these words and the words of the politicians, the words of nobody, because we heard it all before, babe. We want to see some action. We want to see it now. If you're not willing to get the job done, we're not willing to sit back anymore and just allow it and drop our heads and just learn to continue to lose ourselves and succumb to it. Now, yes, there are social norms because we have to share this place that we're in. We have to share Chicago. We have to share Illinois. We have to share the United States. We have to share this earthly plane because we all exist here. But continually being fed SHIT and being told it's sugar, nah, we tired of that, honey. We are tired of that. And it's no more. The spirit of Nat Turner has risen. The spirit of our ancestors who went to war have risen. Do you understand? Look online, look on social media, look in the newspapers. People are fighting back. And he's saying he ain't running, he's walking. A lot of times when you rush, you make mistakes. A lot of times when you run, you overlook something, you miss something. I ain't mad at you for that, yay. And shoot, number 45 did it. Bush did it. Why can't he have a chance? Maybe that's the problem. Everybody's talking about, all these stances on the different platforms. You have certain times when you will hear a presidential candidate or a current president, and they'll reference Mama Diddy God. But they have made it to be a separation between God and law. Why is that? Why is that? Regardless of how you feel, it's like, look at the history. Look at the numbers. Everybody's such numbers people. Look at the numbers. Look at the data, people. Is that working? So far, the strategies and tactics that we have been using have not been effective for all. Have not even been fair for all. So perhaps we should implement some more Mama Diddy God. How selfish is that? See that when none of us be here, when none of this be here, if it wasn't for an ultimate creator, even science had to acknowledge the God principle. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with yourself. Baby bad. It's a lot. It's a lot of layers to this onion that we have to continuously peel back. And I'm not saying make this place a religious place. I'm not a religious person. But goodness gracious, look how irate you feel when you have developed something business-wise, physical-wise, and somebody tries to bite off of your creation, take advantage of your creation, utilize your creation in a way that they want to. You are irate. You are ready to fight. This is something that you were inspired, something that was downloaded into you, and somebody just trying to take your whole name up off of you, completely wash you up out of you. That's what you're doing, Mom did to God. It's an order. Like, what's the problem? Ain't nothing wrong with respecting the order, because you got to understand that these people don't have to come behind you and you at a certain level. You know what I'm saying? We'll get all to it. Kanye's interview is going to take up 2 segments of the ChiLove Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeart Radio, and Spotify Premium. So I want you to stay real close as we continue to hear his perspectives, hear his opinions, hear his stances on where he is with the different situations that's going on and the platform that he's going to be running on. So until next time, love.